Good morning, students. Welcome to the online teaching session of Aryant English Medium School, Solapur. I am teaching history, lesson number 1 of 7th standard. Name of this lesson is Sources of History. In this lesson, we are going to study about the sources of history. We studied the ancient Indian history last year. This year, we are going to study the medieval period of Indian history. Broadly, the period from the 9th century CE till the 18th century CE. And this period is considered to be the medieval period of Indian history. History means what? Or what history gives us? So history means the study of past events, and history gives us a chronological, scientific and systematic account of the past events. So the four factors are important from the viewpoint of history. We studied in 6th, still we will study some part in this year. So here the 4 points are important. Individuals, so 4 points are very important. Individuals of society, individuals, society, place and time. History must be based on authentic evidence and proof. It means you have genuine proofs or the sources. These proofs are known as the sources of history. The sources or the proofs that you have is called the sources of history. So we'll classify the sources into 3 types. So which are 3 types? The material sources, written sources and oral sources. So we'll learn about them. So we'll evaluate. We have to consider many factors related to the historical event that we want to study. It is necessary to support our study with historical sources. So it is very important to study the historical sources. These sources have to be verified. We have to see whether they are authentic, whether they are genuine. Just this we have to see. So it is necessary to use the sources judicially only after the critical analysis. So before we confirm that these sources are authentic or genuine, we have to check the genuinity or authenticity of this source. It means we have to make critical analysis of this source. So the forts have an important source among the yes, forts have an important place among the material sources. Some major types are here of forts. First one is hill fort. The hill forts are located on hills. Next, some are forest forts. Yes, like Pratapgarh in Satara is forest fort. Next, sea forts. The forts located in sea. For example, Vijayadurga, Padmadurg or Janjira. All these are the Sindhudurg. All these forts are sea forts, and the forts on the plains. The fort of Solapur. It is on the plain. So there are some major types of the forts. And next, monuments includes samadhis. Samadhis that we studied. Samadhi means. Next, it means the memorials. Samadhi means graves. Virgala. In Marathi we called it as a Virgal. In that Virgala, see, you can see this. What is mean by Virgala? Here. The paintings or there on one big stone, the painting or the information about the Veers. Veers means the brave people. The information about the brave people or their pictures carved out on one big stone. So samadhis, graves, virgala and buildings, and that buildings include palaces, ministerial mansions where the ministers used to live, palaces where the kings used to live. Next, queen's quarters, It is called as Rani Vasa in Marathi. Queen's quarters means where the queens were living. Next, also the houses of common people. Yes, there is also the houses of common people. They all provide insights about that period. Yes, all these are the proofs of that period. So looking at them, we come to know about the development of architecture. Yes, we come to know about the development of architecture, the economic conditions, the quality of art. Is what type of information we can get. The architecture, suppose take one palace or queen's quarters. So what we can get information, what type of information, the development of architecture, how the architecture was developed. Next, the economic conditions of that time. Next, the people's standard of living in the particular period, how the people used to live in that time. So all this information we can get. The coins made by the different rivers. See, yes, this is, we can see this. In material sources, what material source include? The memorials that I told, samadhis, virgalas. Next, the buildings, cave sculptures in caves, the inscriptions written or carved out on stone or the copper plates. Next, the coins are there, we can get information from coins also. Next, the copper plates and forts. So we can get information about history from these sources. So that's why it is called as material sources. Now see, the coins made by different rulers using the metals like gold. You can see the coin of Hyder Ali made up of gold, silver, copper are important sources. Yes, the coin of Peshwa period is made up of silver. So all these are the important source of history. We can get information from this. From these coins we learn about the rulers of the period, the governance, religious ideas, personal details, etc. So just see, from the coin of Peshwa period we can get, this is, means this was in Urdu when Peshwas made. This was in Urdu. So we can get information about the details, or we can get the details about the period, governor, rulers who issued the coin. Similarly, we also learn about the financial transactions and the economic conditions prevailing at that time. We also see how far our metallurgy had advanced in that period. Metallurgy means the science that deals with metal. If you don't know, please write. Metallurgy, the science that deals with metal, is called metallurgy. And by this we can, means by this use of science or by the metallurgy, the kings or the rulers issued the coins with the use of this metallurgy technique. From the images of Ram Sita on the coin of Emperor Akbar or the Shiva Parvati on the coins of Hyder Ali, we see the religious coordination of those days. Yes, this coin, in this coin, see, you can see on this coin the image of Shiva and Parvati was carved out by Hyder Ali. Hyder Ali was Muslim ruler, but still the religious coordination was there in past times. That's why Hyder Ali issued the coin of Shiva and Parvati. The Peshwas used the Arabic and Persian language here. The Peshwas used the Arabic and Persian language. This throws light on the use of language in that period. Means by this we can get information that which type of language used by our ancestors. So an inscription is carving on stone or wall. For example, inscription found in the Brihadeshwara temple premises in Tanjavur. See, the Brihadeshwara temple was very famous, means still it is famous. It is in Tanjavur. So there are some inscriptions. Many inscriptions of the period of Chalukya. All these are the dynasties that I am reading. Chalukya, Rashtrakuta, Chola and Yadav kings have been found. Yes, many inscriptions have been found from the period of Chalukya, Rashtrakuta, Chola and Yadav kings. Inscriptions is considered to be a very important and reliable source of history. Is that rock inscription, cave inscriptions or some other type of inscriptions is the main source or the important and reliable source of history. Why? Because it helps to understand the features like the language. Yes, we can get information from these inscriptions. We can get information about the language, about the scripts. Next, the social life of a period. Inscriptions carved on the sheet of copper are known as copper plates. Yes, the inscriptions carved out on the plains or the sheet of copper are called as copper plates. Understood? So, royal edicts, verdicts, the judicial verdicts are inscribed on the copper plates. The royal decisions or decisions of king or the decisions issued from the king's courts, all these are inscribed on the copper plates. Next, the written sources. Very, very important. Written sources. We learnt about this significant historical event in the medieval period from sources like writing styles of scripting like Devanagari, Arabic, Persian, Modi, etc. And as also from the varieties of different languages, Burjapatras, religious manuscripts, treatises, edicts, decrees, biographies, paintings, etc. See, we can gather information about the food items, about the conventions, means councils, next the rules of the conduct of people, how to conduct your behavior, how to behave. All these are the rule of the conduct of the people, the festivals celebrated in past and about the people's life. All this we can get information of all this from the written sources. So these types of sources is called as written sources in history. So see, during this period, travelers from other countries came to India. Yes, during this period, during the medieval period and ancient period also, the travelers came from other countries to India. So they have written travel logs or the account of their travels. Travel logs means suppose one traveler came to India, he observed what he observed in India, he had means he wrote somewhere, he wrote in his diary. So this is called the travel log, the account of his travel. So some of them are means some the famous travelers are Al Biruni, Ibn Battuta, Niccolo Manucci, etc. So the Babur's biography, some are the biographies that I am explaining. Babur's biography, Sri Shiva Bharat, or it is known as the Sanskrit biography of Shivaji Maharaj, composed by the Parmanand. So Kavi Parmanand, the poet Parmanand composed the biography of Shivaji Maharaj, is known as Sri Shiva Bharat. So this composed by poet Parmanand, as well as the various biographies of different rulers and their correspondence, helps us to understand the policies. Suppose this Shiva Bharat helps us to understand the policy of Shivaji Maharaj and administrative system of the rulers and their diplomatic relation with other states. Understood? Next, very, very important, Tariq or Tawarik. Here, first one written source, Tariq or Tawarikh. It means the sequence of event. And the Tawarikh was written by Al-Biruni. He was foreign traveler. Al-Biruni, Ziauddin Barani, Maulana Ahmad, Yahya bin Ahmad, Mirza Haidar, Bhimsen Saxena are available. Yes, all these are available. So Bakar is an important type of chronicle that originated in Maharashtra. Bakar, this type of chronicle originated in Maharashtra. Chronicles helps in understanding aspects like the contemporary political happenings, what was happening in that time, or the linguistic transactions, the which language the peoples were using, the cultural life of ancient time, then social conditions. So the many chronicles in Marathi were written many years after the events had occurred. So many chronicles of Marathi also it were written, means it was written after many years. Suppose Shivaji Maharaj Shivaji Maharaj was born in 1630. So after many years, the Bakar on Shivaji Maharaj was written. Suppose it is in 1830, means after the birth of Shivaji Maharaj, after the 200 years, the birth of Shivaji Maharaj, that Bakar was written by someone. Understood? So it was later it was written. As a result, they are seen to rely on hearsays. Hearsays means what we heard by our ears, then means that only we had written. So they are seen to rely on hearsays. After 200 years, we can't see Shivaji Maharaj. No, we never saw Shivaji Maharaj, but we heard something about Shivaji Maharaj. So it is called as hearsays. So some of these chronicles are Mahikawatichi Khabar, Sabasad Bakar, Chitnisachi Bakar, Bhau Sahibachi Bakar, etc. All these the works of the contemporary Western historians like Robert Arm, M.C. Sprengel, Grant Duff are important. Means all these are these writers had written about Shivaji Maharaj and the medieval period. So the oral sources, very important, oral sources. We understand various aspects of folk life through our folk literature, traditionally passed from generation to generation. Yes, the information passed from generation to generation. The information that passed from generation to generation in forms of stories or songs or gathas or shlokas or povadas or abhangas, all these are the oral sources. Understood? Some example are ovis, folk songs, povadas, folk tales, etc. So such type of sources are called as oral sources. The information that was passed from generation to generation and it is still passing is known as oral sources. So history is written with the help of the three types of sources mentioned above. History is written with the help of the three types of sources above, which are those: material sources, written source, and oral source. Understood? So see, history is written with these sources. Even after it has been written down, research it goes on continuously. Yes, after it is written, but research goes on continuously. New sources and information come to light through this research. Yes, new sources and information come to light. Then history has to be written accordingly. Yes, as the new sources come into light, the history has to be written and rewritten accordingly. So we can see that our history books and the books of your parents and grandparents are different from certain extent. Yes, are differs from certain extent. There are some differences. So the evaluating the sources of history, how we are evaluating the sources of history, we'll see. It is necessary to take a certain precautions before using the sources of history, yes, we have to take some precautions before using the source of history. What type of precautions we have to take, we'll see. We have to examine the authenticity, it means the genuinity of this source, means we have to check, are they genuine, the sources are genuine or the fake, we have to check it. Then the quality can be determined with the help of internal standard. The quality can be determined with the internal standard. We also have to study the integrity of the writers. Yes, is that writer is writing or he had wrote correct or not, we have to check the integrity. Next, the personal interest in writing. Next, the period in which they live and the political pressure on them, is there any political pressure on that particular writer, we have to check, and we can check it. So it is also important to see whether they rely on hearsay or give an eyewitness account. Suppose he wrote about Shivaji Maharaj, so we have to examine this, whether it is reliable or rely on hearsay or he was eyewitness at that time. We have to check this. We need to consider the exaggerations, metaphors and the literary devices they use. Their information has to be verified with the help of contemporary sources. Yes, we have to verify this information with the contemporary sources, means the suppose the two writers from the same period they are living, then we can examine easily which one is true, which one is false. Is someone means if one writer wrote extra about any king, so we can examine who had written extra. So the information may be one-sided. Yes, the information may be one-sided. That's why we have to check. Next, contradictory or exaggerated. So it has to be seen in proper perspective. We have to see, we have to check information very proper perspective. The sources that have to be subjected to a critical analysis. The authors, very important, see, very important line is there, the author's impartiality and neutrality are very important in writing history. Yes, while writing history, authors should be impartial. Means there should be no partiality, and he should be neutral. He should be neutral. So students will stop. Thank you.